friends. How's it going? It is the 27th of November, and on today's podcast, I had a little thing I wanted to show you that actually almost slipped by. It has a lot to do with the Rothschilds getting out of the trust business, which means they are getting out of managing other people's money. What has happened to the Rothschilds? I think this is a very important subject matter that we need to look over and investigate. But before we do so, would you please go ahead and click that blue bell so when I post, you will get the notification. Also, please follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, the more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other people, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So this is by Benjamin Fulford Weekly Reports on 11/15/18, so about 10 days ago, a little over 10 days. And it says the announcement on October 24th, 2018 by Rothschilds and Company that they are getting out of the trust business, i.e. managing other people's money, is a major historical turning point that almost slipped by. It was in 1769 that Mayer Rothschild, the founder of the dynasty, first started to manage money for the royalty. Now, 7 generations later, his descendant Alexandre de Rothschild has been forced out of the business by multiple international criminal investigations that are zeroing in on his criminal family. Not good for these people. The Pentagon sources say it means that for the first time in 249 years, the Western financial system is freeing itself from Rothschild financial control. In particular, the arrest of Goldman Sachs banker in the first Malaysian development scandal means that the Rothschilds' involvement is about to be revealed, French investigators and other sources say. This complicated scandal involves Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the Saudi royal family, and many others. But the trail ultimately leads to the Rothschilds, the investigators say. It will also inevitably lead to the Malaysian Flight 3717 mass murder and the G20 nuclear blackmail incident. This is huge, guys. This is not like some small story. This almost got by me. CIA sources say that this is why the Rothschilds are being forced to get out of the trust business, according to the investigators. However, the CIA source with the Rothschild connection downplays this development. Of course, CIA tied to the Rothschilds, of course he's going to downplay it, saying the left hand is selling to the right hand and pointing to this part of the press release. This acquisition, he says, is being led by Richard Martin, a senior executive of Rothschild and Company, with financial backing from an experienced investor. In other words, the French branch of the family, under severe attack, passed the business to either the Swiss or the British branch of the family, he says. Nonetheless, former CIA operations officer Robert David Steele says the Rothschilds have been forced out of the central banking business altogether, even though they asked to be allowed to keep a token of 5%. I know what you're thinking, Robert David Steele. Do we trust him? Do we not trust him? We'll have to see from there on out. But this looks to be, with everything from Saudi Arabia to the Barack Obama to the Clinton Foundation, all of this stuff that's kind of coming forward at this point. We all know that the Saudi Arabia was one of the 3 corners, the sides of the pyramid, and they were the first to go. Is this the Rothschilds' time to go? The only future, time will tell about that. But in fact, he says, a very visible sign of the French Rothschilds' fall from grace came with the arrest last week of Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn. Ghosn was officially arrested for tax reasons, but the real reason for his arrest was military, according to the Pentagon and Asian Secret Society sources. Pentagon sources say the arrest of Ghosn is a move to stop the Renault Nissan merger weaken French President Emmanuel Macron and reduce Rothschild influence in Japan. Asian Secret Society sources, for their part, say more specifically that the French were trying to take complete control of the Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi alliance in order to steal Japanese and U.S. military secrets. Whoa. Mitsubishi Motors, part of the Nissan-Renault automotive alliance, was formerly part of the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, is Japan's leading military manufacturer, and the U.S. 7th Fleet Commander arranged Gozen's arrest and subsequent downfall in order to prevent the French from accessing its technology via Mitsubishi Motors, the Asian sources say. Please remember that former Rothschild banker, French slave president Emmanuel Macron recently called for a European army to defend Europe from Russia, the U.S., and China. Also remember that earlier this year, U.S. President Donald Trump labeled the EU as the U.S.'s main foe. All the U.S. is to the EU is their battering ram. We are the military for the world, and I believe that's what they use us for. We've been put in this position. Trump will get us out of this position. The public fight between the EU and the U.S. government is a visible sign of the ongoing battle for world control, pitting the 13 royal bloodlines and their EU totalitarian state against the anti-bloodline Gnostic Illuminati, who now control the U.S. military-industrial complex, Illuminati sources say. Another visible sign of the conflict is the huge and violent anti-Macron rioting in France. Since 3/4 of the French population support the anti-Macron activities, 3/4 now, that's a lot, you can be sure the pressure against the fraudulently elected president will only increase. They're going to go after him, especially now that his Rothschild bosses are losing power. This could be interesting, everybody. In any case, the attempt by the French to steal Japanese military secrets has also turned to the Mitsubishi Group. The main backers of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe against Finance Minister Taro Aso, according to members of the Mitsubishi owning Iwasaki clan, Aso daughter is married to Alexandre de Rothschild, and Aso has been selling Japanese water rights to Veolia, a company linked to his Rothschild son-in-law, Japanese right-wingers say. Now, with both Mitsubishi and the nationalists against him, also Aso is a doomed man, the sources say. The French Rothschilds were also intimately involved with the March 11, 2011 Fukushima nuclear and tsunami mass murder incident, obviously. According to British Rothschild family sources and Japanese right-wing sources. Another doomed man is SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, say Asian secret society sources. Exactly what excuse will be used to bring him down is not yet clear, but his involvement with Japanese election stealing and the murderous Saudi crown prince, that was weird, fraudulent slip, or more accurately his puppet masters, means his time is running out. Asian secret society sources, for their part, are saying the big changes in Japan will take place after May of next year, when the new emperor formally takes the throne. The sources explain that the special seal or chop the emperor possesses is needed to formally put these changes into motion. While the sources were vague about exactly what would happen, they made it clear that Asia is no longer going to let itself be artificially divided by Western intrigues. Thus, it is a good guess that after Korean unification, Taiwan's peaceful and friendly return to China is also in the works. Japanese and Chinese friendship will also most certainly blossom, the sources say. The Asian secret society sources are also fully endorse the view that the Western civilization is like a beautiful woman infected with syphilis. The syphilis, of course, refers to the Khazarian Mafia, and I've gone over this. If you want to go to an old podcast, I cover the entire Khazarian Mafia. Basically, just as, if not more powerful than the Rothschilds. That is why they support the ongoing campaign to remove the infection from the Western body politic. The 28-page report at the link below exposes special counsel Robert Mueller and others as detailed example of the horrific crimes the Khazarian Mafia have been getting away with. The latest exposure is just a small part of the battle still raging in the U.S. and across Western world. The battle remains fiercest in the U.S. with the ongoing purge on the FBI, the Justice Department, the CIA, the military-industrial complex, the political system, etc. On that front, the stroking of former CIA and NSA boss General Mike Hayden may serve to silence anti-Trumpers in the military intelligence community and induce others to resign or flip. Pentagon sources say Hayden was one of the operatives behind the Fukushima mass murder. Wow. So it seems like he was one of the high-end bosses in the CIA and NSA. Mike Hayden was one of the one of the puzzle pieces to the Fukushima meltdown. This is according to Pentagon sources. They say Hayden was one of the operatives behind the Fukushima mass murder, Japanese military intelligence sources say. The removal of Satanists like Hayden will make it easier to clean out the U.S. court system as it gears up to handle the ongoing mass arrests, CIA sources say. If you don't believe the arrests have started yet, you're not connecting the dots. Take a look at this link, for example, to see how the Hillary Clinton crime family, the state of Arkansas, is being cleaned up. And I will go over an article in another podcast that I found. A lot of pedophilia coming forward. As the political and justice system is being cleaned up, the good guys are gearing up next for a massive war against the pharmaceutical industry. Pentagon sources say on this front, Big Pharma has drawn first blood with the fatal beating of Department of Health and Human Service Drug Pricing Advisor Daniel Best. Yeah. Followed by Pfizer defiantly announcing it will raise prices in January 19, the sources say. So they continue, expect Trump and Congress to begin a whole of government approach to crush the drug cartel. We recommend they start with raids on the American Medical Association before they destroy even more evidence than they already have. Also, outside of the U.S., Interpol is still going to be used to take down the Khazarian worldwide, despite the fact that Russian Major General Alexander Propchuk was not, as we mistakenly reported last week, elected as its new head, the Pentagon sources say. The Interpol election may have been rigged to favor a Korean to lower Russia's profile and keep the cabal at bay. They explain, but they add, newly elected head Kim Jong-yang will take orders from the U.S. intelligence and work with Vice President Prokochuk. The Russians are also finally making long overdue moves against the failed Nazi state in the Ukraine by seizing 3 Ukrainian warships over the weekend. This prompted Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko to declare martial law. This is what a CIA source had to say about Porky. He has run out of his time, just as Bibi, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, has run out of time. Both are war criminals who will be brought to justice one way or another. As the removal of the Khazarian mafia from world power continues, we can expect dominoes like Netanyahu, Macron, Porky, and Assad to topple and finally bring their Rothchild puppet masters to justice. Selling off their trust business is too little, too late for this crime family. At the end of the day, the world will learn of their intimate involvement with World War II, the Holocaust, and many other horrific crimes against humanity. And with that being said, my friends, a lot of information in there. You need to go check out those articles within this article. If you found it informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. Also, please follow me on Twitter at True Reporting and leave a like. Like I said before, the more thumbs up that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other eyes, which means more people will get to see the truth. Guys, please take care of one another and love one another, and expect more from me tonight and tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.